Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another Nano Reef Tank update we have here. Before we add everything to the tank, we did have just taking a look at a couple things here. We had the conch. He's just kind of chilling out, doing his thing. Normally, when I get near the tank, he runs away. Surprisingly, for this dude being a little bit medium size and being a conch, he is fairly quick. He'll do circles around this tank. I mean, literally see him go 3 or 4 times a day around this whole dang tank. There's no problems with him at all. He just does his thing and then hides whenever I get near him. So the fact that he was doing his thing and let me watch him was amazing. And then we have the Tailspot Bunny who decides to come out and he wants to play with us as well, which has been kind of rare for us lately. Normally he spent most of his time hiding in the rock, and then when we added the yellow clown goby, which you see there, they were kind of fighting over the same area to sit in. And well, now the Tailspot Bunny's kind of got more used to his environment. This is his still preferred hole if he's not on the other rock right there behind the conch. Um, and I mean they are at least getting along together, and a lot of times they do stick together pretty much. But yeah, the tailspot bunny's been coming out more, which is a real treat for most of us, because he is kind of funny to watch, and he is kind of weird in the face looking. He's been named Captain Derp, so I didn't give him the name, but that's what the family is stuck with. But everything so far is doing good. What you can't see is the diatom bloom, and that I'll take over an algae bloom any day. Alright, guys, and so what we got here is placed an order with reefcleaners.org and had them shipped in. Unfortunately, I wish I would have paid attention to the weather a little bit more, but it was packed with the heat pack. It did come through in that kind of cold wave that we just had come through here in the middle of the states, and all across the states actually for the large majority of us. But um, the order did come in. It did have a heat pack, fairly large heat pack. Now the problem is unfortunately with the shipping, it seems that the USPS kind of got a little bit behind by one day. So what was supposed to be here in 2 to 3 days ended up being 4. So not too much in the way of the line of what I ordered from them, just a small order since there's not a really heavy bio load in here and don't have much to take care of. And like I said, the package did show up a day late, as well as it came into that cold wave. So there was a little bit of livestock loss, but for what I ordered, losing 3 things out of that livestock really wasn't a bad deal. Now, I did pick up a couple of Nyrite snails. I did pick up a couple of Neuraceus snails, as well as a couple Seraph snails. And here I am taking them out of the bag. Uh, I did also go ahead and pick up a few of the zigzag periwinkle snails, which, when you read the description of them, said that they really didn't do much of an impact on algae. And when I got them, they are super small. Like, I was really underestimating how small these guys were, but I like them. They're very cool. They do like to go above the waterline, and there they are right there. I also got some miniature Sarah snails as well, and I've only ordered 4 of them, and he sent me like 10, and they are all alive, and they are pretty awesome. They went into the tank right away and started doing work. I also ordered a couple hermit crabs, which they are the ones that really perished in the shipping, unfortunately. And then I ordered some loose shells as well so that the hermits wouldn't fight, which is pretty fun. I went ahead and I added them while I was adding these bags to float, and well, one of the shells decided to play. So here we go. We have the bags floating, adjusting to the temperature after coming out of that massive cold wave, coming out of that box with the heat pack. Which unfortunately, yeah, if it would have gone for the 2 days or 3 days, that heat pack probably would have, under any normal condition, would have lasted. Unfortunately, that 4th day is probably what done them in. I did notice that they did get stuck in the distribution center for a day, but all that the negativity aside, like I said, I did add a shell while they were floating. or we're adding the shells while they're floating. And this one just decided out of all of them that it wanted to take a ride around the tank, which was a good way for me to be able to actually see the flow patterns in the tank. Unfortunately, the air, it got trapped and it just decided to swim around for us. So I thought that was pretty cool. Decided to record that. Um, Out of all the shells that I did add, the hermits that I do have in here decided to change shells very quickly once all the shells settled on the bottom of the floor. And that was pretty cool. I got something a little bit later. Alright, so after the shell settled down and the bags had floated for a little bit, for about 15-20 minutes, I then went and did a little drip acclimation so that they could get used to the salinity, and then moved them on over into the tank here. And just kind of set them up in the sand to see how they would do. Unfortunately, the hermit crabs would come up later and kind of disturb everything with the shell that didn't bury itself, which they almost all did except for the nerites and the sarah snails. But pretty easy to go. Guys, so I said earlier after the shells settled down that the hermit crabs would almost instantly go and check out some of the shells. And this guy is actually my hermit that's a bully on the block. With the other hermits, he just kind of pushes them all around the tank, and he was the first one to jump shell. He actually went through every single shell that I added, which was there was 4 additional shells. He literally went from shell to shell to shell, and then finally found the biggest shell, which was the one floating around the tank. Um, Now, it's pretty cool that, how often do we take time to admire something small, even on this level, from our hermits moving from shell to shell, and we get to observe it, which, it's pretty cool. I know I saw a video where somebody's hermits looked like they were giving birth, and that's awesome that we can able to capture this. It doesn't seem like much, but unfortunately, I could add fish all day, add corals, but when it comes down to it, my son thinks that the livestock, like the hermits and the crabs and the snails and stuff, that those are the coolest things to him, and that's what really, this tank is for him. So him being able to see this. Multiple times as the hermits were changing in and out. This was pretty cool, so I thought it was very noteworthy that I had actually caught something like that, because it's not something that we take time to even consider or think about, as most of the time we're so busy adding these guys as they come into the aquarium. They do their thing and then they die out, and we just kind of keep replacing them, and we don't actually take time to appreciate something like this. But it was pretty cool to see him just kind of go through every shell, work his way into it, and of course force out all the air and check out every shell that he actually did enjoy. But yeah, guys, definitely thank you for checking this out. I do have a couple more things still to go to show you guys. And I do appreciate all the subs that we've gotten lately, and every comment. If you guys ever have a question, please ask one. If I know the answer, I'll get it for you. If I don't, I'll try and direct you in the right way. But please, I hope you guys are enjoying it. If you do, thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down, of course. But yeah, please keep up the support, guys. Thank you very much. Alright guys, I also ordered in a few other items. I did order in a fragging kit. It's actually from DDP. This is the soft and LPS coral fragging kit. DDP, like Diamond Dallas Page. Yeah, if you're not a child from the 90s and didn't watch wrestling, you're not going to get that. I did order some Medicore from Brightwell. It is a coral dip I've used in the past. I do trust it. It does have a lot of good reviews on it. It's a triple action formula as well as iodine as well. So it kind of can be used as a coral dip. If your corals ever get irritated, you can bring them back and, of course, re-dip them. And the iodine can help with the tissue if there's any erosion or degrading of the tissue, or if they get injured in the tank. And of course, you can see it comes in a little glass bottle and has a dipper with it as well. Instructions are, of course, on the plastic case and on the glass bottle. And generally, I just keep it in the plastic case so that nothing happens to the bottle. Just a little bit of extra protection. If you have children, they shouldn't be able to get a hold of it. Try and keep it up there, but things happen, and that's why it goes in the container. It's just a couple of photos that I took, just kind of mess around. Thank you for coming, and thank you for the subs. Thank you for all the support. Please, it means a lot for me. If any of you have any suggestions for any other fish or any other inverts, please leave them in the comments below. I'd be happy to hear your input as well. Thank you again, guys. I'll leave you to the bee. Thank you for stopping by, and please enjoy the last couple pictures.